What is going on, YouTube? My name is Captain Crush, and I'm here to talk about PrizePicks NBA fantasy sports today. Now, some days I talk about NFL and NBA, but today I'm focusing on NBA. Maybe I'll do an NFL video later this week. I do cover it in the Discord, but usually not on YouTube. I keep it to NBA because that's what you kids and degens prefer. If you are new to the channel, what I try to do here is get you thinking about the right way to do things. I'm not here to try to spoon feed you. I do just want to get your brain thinking in the right way. Think of it as a channel you could put on, let it play while you're cleaning your house, driving in your car, whichever, whatever. I will get you thinking this could be like the final or the first step in your process when taking these plays. That's my goal. I could come on here and just spoon feed you a couple plays and some terrible breakdown like they do on Twitter, but that wouldn't help you. You'd never get any better and you'd just be a slave to someone else's picks. I don't like that. I'm not about that. You're always going to feel better about making your own reads. I promise you. Win, lose, or draw. Trust the captain when I tell you that. So, with that out of the way, do I even need to say it? Smash the like button, hit the subscribe. Let's get this train going and let's get moving. The first guy that we are going to talk about is the late night hammer, the thumbnail himself, Jamal Murray. Now, what can I say about Jamal Murray other than the fact that he was just at 39.5 fantasy points and they bumped him up to 40? So now I got to make a case to why we should take the over at 40, and it's going to be a little bit harder because that half a point bump, believe it or not, it still makes a big difference. It's terrible that they do this to me, but let's get into it. So, what can I say about old Jamal? Well, does Jamal like to hit points? He sure does. So you could go over here to 23.5 points. I got him projected for just a smidge over 23.5 points. You could take that. He does also facilitate. They did have him at 6.5. Now it's at 7. So maybe your fancy is you want to go over here and take a stab at his points assist. Maybe you want to take Spartan's play of the day and take his R+A. All of these scenarios and all of these things are 100% in the mix. My choosing, my poison was the fantasy score at 39.5. But as I said, they did bump it up, but you can still take it. Let's go over here to, well, first let's go to my notepad before we go to that calculator. And what do we got? We got Jamal Murray, 1.29 fantasy points per minute with a 28% usage rate, okay? 28% usage rate. Well, what's that mean? It means the ball's going to be in his hands a lot, 28% of the time, okay? Which means high usage rate, high probability to get fantasy points. So let's just do simple math, folks. It's Google. 1.29. Follow Captain Crush here. I know it's hard. And we multiply it times 32. We get 41.28. So on average, he's going to go over 39.5 or 40 fantasy points, whatever you got it at. Now listen, why did I use 32 and not 35 like every other player should be used at? Well, because Jamal Murray tends to be poverty minutes. He doesn't play big minutes. I don't understand it. I've seen him play 38. I've seen him play 29. Blowout or not, folks, I'm talking regular. So I just took 32 as a baseline because he should get 32 minutes. If he doesn't play 32 minutes tonight, well, then all bets are off. But I literally think 32 minutes is the minimum amount he should be playing. And let's be real, the Utah Jazz, they're not it. They're not anything to be worried about. Fast play, fast pace. They don't really cover defense that well. Hopefully they crush. I believe they're bottom or dead last, 28th or 29th in rebounds and assists allowed. So you know he has that ancillary action going on. He's going to stuff the stat sheet, hopefully. And hopefully, God willing, Jamal Murray can get us a W. So with that being said, with all that in mind, I took his fantasy score. But like I said, take his RA, his PA, any one of those things. It's up to you. You got to make a decision, buddy. Now, who would I be if I didn't give us a run back from that game? Well, I wouldn't be Captain Crush because you know I love me some 1v1 optimal lineups and slips, right? We got Lauri Markkanen, 35.5 fantasy score. Now stop the count. Donald Trump style, baby. Stop the count. Here's the deal, folks. Biden style. I would tell you to go right back to old Colin Sexton. Here's the thing. Colin Sexton, Clarkson, and Markkanen, all three of them are in the mix for a run back. My problem is that I'm tired of playing minutes roulette with the old Utah Jazz, and I know Lauri Markkanen should get 34 to 36 minutes. So with that in mind, let me bother you to go right back to my notepad for a second, just a second, and we can see Lauri Markkanen 1.25 fantasy points per minute, and he also has a 25% usage rate. So do I need to go back to the calculator? Okay, I'm gonna do it. 1.25 times 35. Look at my grubby little mouse, and we get 43.75. So we know we can go back over here to 35 35.5, and we know that we're in good hands, aka Allstate. And that's not a plug because Allstate's trash. They charge too much. But the fact of the matter is this: you can take Lauri Markkanen's fantasy score and hope to God he shows up, because I just showed you on average his fantasy point per minute, okay? And he should play 35 minutes unless the game turns into a blowout. But if you want to miss both of these guys' fantasy scores, I won't begrudge you a bit. You can just take their real points and I won't have a problem with it, okay? Either of those for both of those gentlemen. Now, I talked about Sexton, I talked about Clarkson. Both are in play, okay? But good luck figuring out who's going to get the minutes over there in the Utah Poverty Jazz. Good luck, good luck. Colin Sexton played 18 last game and almost covered. If he plays 30 tonight, I'm driving to Utah and throwing hands. Now, let's move on. Clear the board, kid. We're moving on. All right, so that's the late night hammer. Now we got to talk about the early win. Well, there's two gentlemen here that stick out like a sore thumb. And the first one is going to be Benedict Mathurin, my bad. 26.5 fantasy score versus the Poverty Wizards. And when I say Poverty Wizards, I mean Poverty Wizards. They kept it close against my Oklahoma Thunder last time. I don't know what they're going to do here. You never know if they're going to show up or if they're going to stay close or whatever. So you can't really go by the spreads. Halliburton is out. Now, let's go right back to the notepad where I got the stats. Mathurin, 0.95. Look at that poverty fantasy point per minute. Not even a full point. 0.95 fantasy point per minute, but on average, it's going to go up without Halliburton, but he does have a 22% usage rate. So if we take those two things in mind, do I need to go back to the calculator once again? We're going to go there because some of you guys are visual learners. You went to all the public schools. 0.95 and multiply it times 30, and what do we get? 28.5. And 30 is a decent baseline since there's no Halliburton. Now factor in the matchup, fast pace, no defense, lot of points to be scored. Benedict Mathurin, you just made the list. It's that simple. There's no real analytical theory or breakdown, whatever you guys like to hear. I know you guys love those 3 to 4 sentence breakdowns that they put on Twitter that absolutely mean nothing. He's covered this in 5 of his last 6 games. Bro, none of that matters. It's all basically fantasy point per minute, usage rate, pace of play for the matchup. If those line up, you got it in good. Then compare it to the sportsbook models, the EV models, like on OddsJam and DGF. If it lines up there, then you have harmony. Take it. If it sells, it sells. Just consider yourself, if you make the right play day in and day out, eventually you will get a return on your investment. It's that simple. I always compare it to poker. If you go all in pre-flop with pocket aces and Texas Hold'em and you get called by 2 players, even sometimes 1 player, you're a 4-1 favorite, okay? But that still means you're going to lose some of the time. You understand? Someone can call you with 7 deuce, which is the worst hand in poker, and beat you. It just happens because math is like that. If something has a 55% chance to hit, it's still going to give you 45% where you lose. I always talk about this stuff because it's important to hammer this stuff home for the new bettors or for the new players who think, I thought this was a great play, why did I lose? Because they're human beings, and at the end of the day, we can't really predict human beings, okay? Like, humans are going to human. It's that simple. So, talked about Mathurin. If you want to take a run back from the Washington side, I would stick it to Kuzma exclusively or maybe Saric. I just say Saric? Where's my brain? I'm sorry, Saric. Let me not besmirch the name of Saric. I meant to say Denny Avdija. You could literally go to Denny Avdija if you'd like. Personally, I don't think I'm going to have a run back there. So the next guy that I'm going to talk about is Miles Bridges, who has a 1.3 fantasy points per minute and a 23% usage rate. Listen, his fantasy point per minute is next level poverty, but again, he's in a good matchup. The Kings are on a back-to-back, and let's be honest, Miles Bridges and Terry Rozier have just been dominating lately. Look at I don't understand it. He literally got 45, 35, 43, 45, 28 against Chicago, which isn't a good matchup. Look at this. He just dropped 39 real points against the Bulls. Both of these guys, either of these guys in this matchup are in the mix. The proverbial checks mix, that is. I could make the case for either or. The reason I stuck with Miles Bridges is because via my model projections, he's projected for right around 43 to 44. It was a good differential, and he has a slightly easier path than Terry Rozier to get there. So I went ahead and gave him the nod. He's someone that needs to be considered, folks, okay? Now, I talked about, yesterday I was on Sabonis, and I had his unders on his PRA and his fantasy score, and what did he do? He dropped 77 in nuclear fashion. And hey, that happens. It happens, folks. It is what it is, but I would say this. I don't know if he's going to go over or under today. I don't know what I'm going to do there, but the matchup is elite for him. I would consider doing something with Sabonis. I'm not sure what what, but I felt like I should mention that. And speaking of things I should mention, there is one more thing that I'm going to mention, but before I do that, I'm going to plug where I mention it all, which is going to be my live streams today at 4:45 Central. Guess what? I've been on time the last week straight. I've been on time. Sometimes I'm 5 minutes late. Sometimes I'm 5 minutes early. Who am I kidding? I'm usually 5 to 10 minutes late, but that's neither here nor there. The fact is, CaptainCrush.net gold package. You get in the live streams where I answer your grubby, bloody questions about everything. We go over the projection model, which you also get for being in my Discord. You get all the sheets of projections, okay? And on top of that, you get a playlist every day sent to your phone or in the Discord, whichever's easier for you, and it'll tell you exactly where I'm going. And I do post slips in there if you do like to blindly tail, which I don't recommend that as a long-term strategy. But if you are new, and everyone called me out on this, I do help new bettors. If you are new, I will help you out. I promise you I help you out. I don't big league. I answer questions. I'm very active. You can get a 30-day free trial if you sign up with my partners Parlay Play, Chalkboard, or Sleeper right now too. Then just send me an email with the screenshot and I got you with a 30-day free trial. But again, a lot of you guys have no idea what a Discord is, but this is basically what it looks like. Figure it out like a group chat room where a bunch of like-minded guys are that will help you and talk about sports, like a giant think tank led by me where I give my opinions, projections. I literally give the live streams and everything else, okay? And then this was yesterday. A lot of people found W's yesterday, even though I was like 2x king. It's crazy. And then you have people in here that even say, where do you get these props from? And he says projection reads, because that's the beauty of this Discord, guys. Some of these people are in here and they still don't even know where to go, okay? Some of these guys are in other Discords. Some of these guys are doing other things and they post their plays there. It's a good thing. We share everything, guys, but it's a good place to be. I'm telling you, you'll be better off than when I found you. You go here, daily prop list. This is what it looks like, guys. I get people that are like, well, once I'm in your Discord, then what do? You go to the daily props list and you click the tab, and that's what it looks like. So it'll look like something like this. That's what it looks like. There's the list, and then you go to Captain's Daily News, and that is where you will get projections, a link to this YouTube video, and the projection sheets are PDF, or they look like this, where I just put them out, and you'll get every player that's playing, etc. Okay? It's very simple. I know it may seem overwhelming, but I promise you guys, it's not. Okay? So that is my Discord plug where you will get the most out of your experience. You will get your money's worth for 83 cents a day, I'm telling you. Now, like I said, the last guy I want to talk about is somebody that's either going to soar or he's going to sell. You like what I did there? He's going to soar or he's going to sell. And I got my lucky pirate hat on that the community hates. They hate my Pirates. Everybody hates on my Pirates, but guess what? Decade after decade, it's been excellent. 6 world titles decades ago in the 30s, the 40s, you name it, the Pirates had it. Miss me with your nonsense. In 5 years, it'll be our year. Give us 5 years to build and you're going to see what's up. But Connor Joe, a legend. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Tyrese Maxey. What do we do here? Well, my own projection model has him going for like 52. You hate to see it because I told everybody to take under. How can I advocate for Tyrese Maxey under against the Atlanta Hawks and with no Joel Embiid? Well, it was just a gut call, folks, because 48.5 for old Maxey is just high. And I know without Joel Embiid, it's crazy talk. It's crazy talk, folks, but I don't know what to do here. I just wanted to mention him. And let me go right back over here to my notes where I got, I forgot to put his fantasy point per minute, but I just, because it was just basically something I want to mention. He's not a core play, but I don't know what I'm going to do here. I told people because of the plus EV models to take less, and my gut was telling me take less. But now that I've done a little bit more research and I've thought about it a smidge of a little bit more, I'm getting real scared about taking less here. So I'm just going to mention this to you guys. You can take more or less. It's going to be up to you at the end of the day, okay? More or less. You have to decide, but they are playing the no defense Hawks. It will be a pace up spot for him. Maybe you go over to Tobias Harris or maybe even Melton. I know they're not on the board. Maybe they are on the board and my spelling's just poverty. Let me look. Okay, no, Tobias Harris is here at 36.5, okay? He can literally get this. Whether he's going to or not, I'm not sure. He used to be a wagon for people. He kind of fell off a little bit. A broken wheel here and there, maybe. I'm not really sure what to do, but the fact still remains. Both of these guys are in play. Whether you take more or less, you need to decide. I can make a case for less, I can make a case for more, okay? But if you browse on Twitter at all, you're probably going to see old Tyrese's name everywhere today. I could probably see him being very popular, so I would be amiss if I didn't cover him myself, all right? That's my spiel about Tyrese Maxey. The more I look at it, the more I'm going to take a shot on more, even though I already have a slip with less in it, which is crazy. But yesterday was a 2x day for me pretty much. By the way, if you did watch this YouTube video, Isaiah Hartenstein's fantasy cashed, his blocks and steals cashed. He didn't cash his bump because of a turnover, but Jalen Duren's points and rebounds cashed, but he sold his fantasy because he got in early foul trouble, 3 turnovers, and he didn't play a whole bunch of minutes. He played like 25 minutes, which isn't enough to get it done. That time, stuff like that happens, folks. But if you did attend my live streams, we were able to get 2x and potential 10x. We had a sweat for 10x on 2 different slips, 2x. Anthony Davis over points, under rebounds, cash. Missed his fantasy score because he went over. Scotty Barnes under fantasy cashed. Quickly's fantasy score cashed. Towns fantasy score cashed. That's another thing. You need to keep in mind the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Boston Celtics tonight. There is injury news on both teams. Keep that in mind tonight, okay? I got this video out later than I should have, but yesterday I got it out the night before, and I like getting the views for the night before, but I like having a full deck of cards to play with. So I hope all of you guys have a good day today. I appreciate you stopping by my channel and checking me out. Again, if you're new here, I try to do these Monday through Friday. Leave a comment if you're a new guy. Hit the sub, hit the like. Here's the salute. And my brothers and sisters in Christ, good luck in every contest you decide to play. My partner links are in the description. As always, let's crush.